in my bones. There are children here somewhere.
Welcome to MsMojo, and today we're counting down our picks for the top 10 kids' movie scenes that traumatized you.
I couldn't get out. Everything turned mad. Water, earth, roots, grass, all pushed into the air.
For this list, we'll be looking at the most stomach-churning, terrifying moments in our favourite childhood films. If we missed anything that scared you for life, let us know in the comments below. Number 10. The Pleasure Island Sequence, Pinocchio. So many early Disney movies are anchored by terrifying sequences, whether it's Bambi's mother getting killed by hunters or the forest in Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs. We all have the one that gets us the most. But if we were to poll all the Disney kids, we think the majority would name Pleasure Island in Pinocchio as the worst offender.
What'd I tell you? Ain't this a swell joint?
Yeah, being bad's a lot of fun, ain't it?
Yeah, huh?
Around the midpoint of the film, Pinocchio is whisked off to Pleasure Island for what he thinks will be a fun time. He quickly learns, however, that the island has the power to turn little boys into donkeys, who are then sold into slavery. That idea in general is traumatizing, but watching the boys actually transform?
What's happened?
I hope I'm not too late.
What'll I do?
Pinocchio!
Well, that haunts us to this day. Number 9. Large Marge, Pee-wee's Big Adventure. The age-old tale of a boy and his bike, and a scary, ghostly truck driver.
So guess what I want? A new brain. No, your bike.
Pee-wee's Big Adventure was a staple for so many 80s kids. Being Tim Burton's feature directorial debut, it introduced everyone to his signature style, which would go on to permeate so many of our favourite films. Pee-wee definitely has the campy, colourful elements of Burton, but unfortunately for kids, it also has some of the scarier parts.
10 years ago, along this same stretch of road, in a dense fog, just like this.
In one particular sequence, Pee-wee picks up a ride with a truck driver named Large Marge, but as soon as Pee-wee hauls himself up into the truck, you can tell something's wrong.
From the twisted, burning wreck, it looked like this.
Turns out Marge is a ghost, and she's ready to give Pee-wee the fright of his life.
Have a nice day.
Be sure and tell him Large Marge sent ya.
Number 8. Monsters, The Dark Crystal. When you think of Jim Henson, you most likely think of the beloved Muppet. But despite how cuddly and sweet that puppet ensemble is, Henson had some freakier characters up his sleeve.
Find that killfin now! Crystal bats fly! Search the land! Search the water! Search the sky!
In 1982, nearly 30 years after the Muppets first came to fruition, Henson released The Dark Crystal.
The crystal shard?
To save our world, Gilfling, you must find the shard.
Though now a cult classic, the film nearly scared kids to tears when it first came out. The design of these puppets was nothing akin to the likes of Kermit, Miss Piggy, or Fozzie Bear. Not even close.
Watch out, Kira! Kira! Behind you!
By contrast, they had spiky, slimy, and scary features that made it hard to believe they were created by the same person. Seriously, the Skeksis still lives in our nightmares. Number 7. Child Catcher, Chitty Chitty Bang Bang. If you remember watching Chitty Chitty Bang Bang as a child, you probably remember the song and the flying car. Fun stuff, but for your sake, we hope you've blocked everything to do with the Child Catcher from your memory.
There are children here somewhere. I can smell them.
In the film, Jeremy, Jemima, and their father travel to the strange land of Bulgaria, where children have been deemed illegal.
Lollipops! Ice cream!
Subsequently, Jeremy and Jemima are taken prisoner by the evil child catcher. With his pallid skin and sketchy wagon, this guy is the embodiment of the idea that you should never take candy from strangers.
It's all inside. Come along, my little dears. Go inside, what a baby. Go inside, my little dears.
He didn't just nab the kids in the movie, but made an entire generation fear the same thing in the process. Number 6. The Chokey, Matilda. Danny DeVito's film is one of the funniest on this list. There are definitely serious themes, but as far as kids' movies go, it delivers on laughs like no other.
Listen, you little wiseacre. I'm smart, you're dumb. I'm big, you're little. I'm right, you're wrong. And there's nothing you can do about it.
But there's one part of Matilda that has forever made us scared to get detention. Miss Trunchbull, the dictator-like principal of Matilda's school, lives rent-free in our nightmares.
The entire assembly will stay 5 hours after school and copy from the dictionary. Any children who object will go straight into the chokey together.
But if you were a 90s kid, there's no way you weren't deathly terrified of her torture device, the chokey. The sequence where Miss Trunchbull actually puts Matilda inside of this spiky, medieval-seeming contraption is more awful than anything else she does.
I just like my father.
You're the spitting image. The apple never rots far from the tree.
If anything, it certainly gave us a lifelong fear of school authority figures. Number 5. The Boat Ride, Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory. When you first put on Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory, you get the feeling that you're going to see something whimsically delightful.
Count to 3. Come with me, and you'll be in a world of pure imagination.
The famous chocolatier's entrance might give you pause as to whether you can trust the man, but it also makes him seem fun and spontaneous. But just you wait. Danger is on the way.
The suspense is terrible.
He's gonna go this time.
I hope it'll last.
Go on, boy, go on.
The group of golden ticket winners climb into a boat that proceeds to hurtle them through a kaleidoscope of terror.
Wonka, do me a favor. Tell those creatures to stop paddling back there.
We're going too fast. We're going to sink. I know it. Why doesn't he stop the boat?
As the children and their parents grow more agitated, Wonka begins to sing in a sinister manner. The boat ride might not be as blatantly frightening as some other aspects of the film, but it's the first time you fully realise that something is not right.
There's no earthly way of knowing
He's singing.
which direction we are going. There's no knowing where we're rowing.
Number 4. Everything, Watership Down. We did our best to try and find a specific moment of Watership Down that we could use for this list, but in all honesty, everything about this movie is downright upsetting.
No good binding wire.
Run, Father. Run to the warren and get the others. Blackberry, silver, and cowslip. Be quick, you'll die.
Based on Richard Adams' 1972 novel, Watership Down follows a group of rabbits, but its themes are anything but fluffy and sweet. In fact, the violence inflicted on the rabbits is so dark, so bloody, it's a wonder that this film was made at all.
I remember you. You're the one that saw it coming.
But what happened?
Our warren. Destroyed.
Yet, when this movie first came out, a lot of critics deemed it perfectly suitable for kids. While we agree that Watership Down has an important place in film history, its brutal depictions of death traumatized a generation.
Come back! Come back, you fools! Come back! Come back and fight! Dogs aren't dangerous!
Number 3. In the Dark of the Night, Anastasia. In one of Don Bluth's most beloved animated films, Anastasia, he more than lives up to his reputation as an animator who likes to walk on the wild side. Based on a legend about the famous Romanov princess, the film has romance, adventure, and amazing songs.
When the royals betrayed me, they made a mistake. My curse made each of them pay, but one little girl got away.
But on the flip side, it also has a terrifyingly realistic coop sequence and a nightmare scene that's beyond troubling. But the scariest part of Anastasia comes in the form of a song.
In the dark of the night, evil will find her. Find her. In the dark of the night, hi-ya!
The film's villain, Rasputin, sings In the Dark of the Night as he sends his minions to kill Anastasia. The design of these creatures from the pits of hell and the daunting orchestral music is enough to make our blood run cold.
She'll be mine!
Number 2. Transformation. The Witches. We've already talked about a few Roald Dahl adaptations on this list, like Matilda and Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory.
I've got something for you here. Something I think you'll like. Jump down and I'll show you.
No.
What?
No, thank you very much.
But now we come to the reason that we could never meet Angelica Houston in real life.
Oh, welcome, sir.
Yes, that's her.
Nicola Cole. I've been so looking forward to meeting you. You look marvellous.
I wish I could say the same for you, Nicola.
In 1990's The Witches, Houston plays Miss Ernst, a witch whose greatest goal is to turn children into mice. Yikes. Throughout the film, Eva appears in a gorgeous human form. She is played by Angelica Houston after all. But then the transformation happens.
You may remove your wigs. The doors! Are they locked and bolted?
Locked and bolted. Good.
Good.
After gathering together, all the witches remove their human facades to show their true ghastly forms. In all honesty, watching Angelica Houston take her face off made us worried about witches in disguise for years on end. Before we unveil our top pick, here are a few honourable mentions. The Rhino Cloud, James and the Giant Peach. Rhinos belong on the ground, not the sky.
Their troubles, if they had any at all, were over in 35 seconds flat. James's troubles were just beginning.
Kidnapped, Labyrinth. We could have done without nightmares about goblin baby nappers.
I wish the goblins would come and take you away. Right now.
Stay away from my house, Monster House. You don't need to tell us twice.
This place is not a playground for children!
Got it from now on!
This is my house! Why can't you respect that? Why can't you just stay away from her?
Lena and Simone's backstory. Scooby-Doo on Zombie Island. Don't you hate finding out your friends are actually werecats?
Every harvest moon, I must drain the life force from victims lured to my island to preserve my immortality.
This is more haunted stuff than I really wanted.
The Flying Monkeys, The Wizard of Oz. Still scary so many decades later.
Before we continue, be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. You have the option to be notified for occasional videos or all of them. If you're on your phone, make sure you go into your settings and switch on notifications.
Number 1. Button Eyes, Coraline. Based on a Neil Gaiman novella, Coraline is about a young girl who feels neglected by her parents and happens upon a magical parallel universe. When she first arrives, she meets her other parents who dote on her.
You're not my mother. My mother doesn't have
buttons? Do you like them? I'm your other mother, silly.
Coraline's other mother offers to let her stay in this new world, but in order to do so, she would have to sew buttons over her eyes.
But if you'd prefer pink, or vermilion, or chartreuse, though you might make me jealous.
No way!
All the people in this world have button eyes. Terrifying. Coraline later meets a group of ghostly children who explain to her that the other mother took their souls.
She said that she loved us, but she locked us here and ate up our lives.
But while that moment is haunting, we simply cannot get over the button eyes. Seriously, has there ever been a spookier image? We don't think so.
Do you agree with our picks? Check out this other recent clip from MsMojo and be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos.